Hi everyone, Nick here. Today, the Serious Racing League heads to Sochi, home of the Winter Olympics, the World Cup, and now the Russian Grand Prix. Now, this isn't one of my favourite tracks. It's a weird one in that when I get into a flow, I quite enjoy it. When I'm not in a flow, I hate it. So, it's a bit of an odd one. And also, the corner cuts. My word, the corner cuts. You can rack up so many penalties here, so it's going to be crucial not to do that. This race could be decided on penalties, could be decided by who gets the fewest. Let's hope it's me. Practice didn't really happen for me, unfortunately. I had all sorts of network issues that for some reason just kept on kicking me out of the races. So trying to do some online practices when you can't connect is somewhat difficult. When I did manage to connect though, the races didn't really go to plan either. With starts like this,
textbook.
and finishes like this.
Cheating.
As a result of that, I went into qualifying feeling a little underprepared. My first lap wasn't too bad. I made sure not to cut any corners, and I crossed the line to go fourth with a 1:33.467. Not terrible, but not setting the pace by any means. My second lap though was an improvement, and when I crossed the line I was on provisional pole with a 1:32.849. By the time I went out for my final run though, Tony had beaten that by exactly 3/10, so I needed to improve by quite a bit. Let's see how I got on. So turn 1 isn't a turn, it's just a kink in the straight, no problem there whatsoever. Turn 2 and turn 3, the chicane at the start, are quite tricky. You brake around 120, get it turned in and then get accelerated through there. You can then go flat through here in the dry. I like to put it in 7th gear and keep it there. You're then looking for the curb on the left hand side. When that starts, shift down into 4th gear, get it turned in, get on the throttle, and we're slightly up on our previous best, and we're 1.5 up on Tony's time. So this is looking pretty decent. We've dropped down to 3rd on the grid though provisionally as Kev's managed to sneak into 2nd. We've pretty much left no time on the table through there. We're going to try and get turned in as quickly as possible, floor it, and we've made up loads of time. 1.5 up, so that's halfway to what we need to get pole position. So we're going down the back straight, 1.5 or so tenths up. Compared to Tony's time though, we are absolutely flying. Over 2/10 up. However, I know that he's really strong in the final sector, so I needed to push, floor the accelerator out here, and that happens. Too early on the throttle, and it's caused me to spin, and that has ruined my lap. So in the end I had to settle for 3rd with my 1:32.8, 3/10 off the pace, really tight behind me as well, but 3rd is another 3rd place on the grid. I'll take it. Plan was to do better in the race.
Everyone went there.
Literally everyone was thinking, absolute cheaters. I got one for being home and I don't even know where he is.
I got one hitting one for you. Someone came across me.
We're
Not someone else. I'm collecting one ship.
Not the start we believe, but it's not over yet. Stay focused.
you leave you to the end then? Probably not.
Maybe I'll see someone like 4 or 5. Must be very, very...
No, I'm holding you do. About it now, when you have it. I'm over sure that. I'm calling. Lava monkey.
So lots of places lost on the first lap there, unfortunately. Some interesting lines through turns 2 and 3. Not too sure about that. The target though was to get back through the field as quickly as possible. By the end of lap 2 I had Wiggins in my sights ahead, and with DRS going to be enabled as we crossed the start finish line and the DRS detection zone directly ahead of us, this was going to be a chance.
All right, Wiggins.
That was his upper box.
So job done there on Wiggins, and at the start of lap 7 Frankie was in my sights.
On that one. Oh, back last corner.
Wow, I just knew it happened on the left. You right, Frankie?
By lap 9, some of the drivers who started on soft tyres had started to think about pitting. We overtook 2 of them as they pitted to move up into 3rd place, and the remaining 2 in front of us pitted the following lap, leaving us in the lead. I didn't think I had too much problems with tyre wear though, so I decided to stay out, pit as the strategy suggested at the end of lap 11, with the idea being that maybe I can do a bit of an overcut. Not the best entrance to the pits, but didn't get any warning, so not too shabby. But the plan was to get an overcut, and at the very worst, hopefully I'd be about steady in terms of the gap to the cars behind, and then I would be able to have fresher tyres towards the end of the race as well. Unfortunately, it didn't really seem to work. As you can see, that Tony's already gone through, so I'm 4th, and that's Kev down into 5th, Jerome so down into 6th, that's Coulthard so down into 7th, and Frankie is going to have a good shout of getting past as well.
That's a good race.
So that didn't work then, did it? I suppose I'd have to do it the old-fashioned way, starting by overtaking Frankie for 6th.
Did you get away with that, Frankie?
Yes.
That wasn't intentional.
No, I didn't think it was a pretty surprise to see that.
Okay, clear.
I couldn't really see the inside properly. You got a braking point was.
You'll get the similar.
And on the following lap, Mystic Frankie was proven right.
Well, I'm putting this up, so we're back right in the middle.
Reduce the ERS deployment, please. We need to charge the battery.
6th became 5th when Stefano pitted at the end of lap 16. He was still on his original soft tyres from the start, little bit long but never mind, and that meant I was 1 place up the grid. Now I was now 3.9 seconds behind Coulthard, who was in 4th, but I knew that he had time penalties. I had no time penalties, although I did pick up my first warning towards the end of lap 17, and then in absolute typical fashion, 2 corners later I managed to pick up my second warning. So that put a bit of pressure on to not get any more warnings, because that could prove crucial. Come the end of lap 24, I was just 3.073 seconds behind Coulthard. Unfortunately, I was too busy looking forward. I really should have been looking back over my shoulder.
Time to the car behind, keep pushing.
Unfortunately, once Frankie got past me, there was no real chance for me to try and close that gap to Coulthard unless he had an absolute mare of the last couple of laps, and I knew that Frankie had a load of time penalties, so I was going to still finish the race in 5th place. And you can see there how close it was. I mean, I finished in 5th, but I was only 8.8 seconds off the lead, so less than 10 seconds covering the top 5. Really impressive. Slightly annoying though, as I've been finishing 2nd in previous races and being 20 seconds behind. So, a bit annoying to be closer to the leader and further back. But it just shows how close this field was. Very close, if you can see there in the crash that happened behind. Very fortunate not to be involved in that. But anyway, that's the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, then don't forget to like the video, and if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, then why not go and do that now? It's always hugely appreciated when you do, and thank you very much to everyone who has done it recently. Always appreciated. And let me know in the comments below what you reckon of the race. Do you think I should have come in a little bit earlier, maybe gone for the undercut rather than the overcut? I think I probably shouldn't have stuck it out till lap 11, but in hindsight, it's very easy to say that. Until next time, and the next video, goodbye.